The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. It is the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on a Thursday morning. Shout out to our friends over at Crushed Peanuts. You can visit them online, crushedpeanuts.com. More than just a snack, 9 grams of protein, the perfect supplement to start your day, the perfect way to get going when it comes down to your workouts. The only way you can crush your day is with Crushed Peanuts. Learn more at crushedpeanuts.com. My oh my, how things can change in a week, and they're doing it to me again. They're making me optimistic. I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about baseball. The New York Yankees, somehow, some way, after I've written them off, after I have gotten tired of the song and dance that they do to me every single year, I am now, as we get closer to the end of the season, we're 30 some odd games away. The Yankees are now in second place in the AL East. They are, I believe, 4 games out of first place, so there's still a chance that they can get to first place. They just leapfrogged over the Boston Red Sox and are now number 1 in the wild card as well. So it feels like the spot for the New York Yankees in the playoffs is set, right? Like, barring some sort of catastrophic way of collapsing, the Yankees should be a playoff team. And I look at the way the Yankees have won over the last couple of days, where they had 9 home runs on Tuesday. They had 5 home runs yesterday. They tied the major league record of 14 home runs in 2 games. And they're just bashing the hell out of the ball. And as much as I want to get excited about the fact that the New York Yankees are this amazing offensive juggernaut, I still have replays, and it's still brought up from people last year talking about how the New York Yankees lost in the World Series. Aaron Judge, the errors in the fifth inning. The fact that the Yankees don't really have a lot of pitching. But I'm getting excited, and I shouldn't be this excited. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. The team that they just jumped over, the Boston Red Sox, 3-7 in their last 10 games. And the Yankees are bringing me in. They're reeling me in. Oh, look at this guy. He's going to be all in on this team, as I am most of the time. Like this year, I was really trying to not be caught up in it, right? Like I was like, you know what? Let's just focus on the Cowboys. Let's focus on my teams. We'll do that. We'll be selfish. And now I'm like trapped in this place that the Yankees have put me in. A 97.7% chance of making the playoffs for the Yankees. Obviously, that's according to ESPN stuff. We always see they have like the win percentage stuff that goes up. And it'll be like, oh, this team had a 99.9% chance of winning the game, but they ultimately lost because of some miracle play. I feel like that's something that can wind up happening to the New York Yankees. Genuinely. I genuinely feel that way. Like the Yankees are going to find some way to be out of the playoffs. But they've given me hope. And to couple along with that hope are the fact that the Dodgers aren't really that great, right? Like if there's a time to beat the Dodgers, it feels like the year is now. Shohei Ohtani got rocked yesterday. He even got hit by a line drive, right? Like he hasn't been fantastic as far as pitching goes. Like he has his moments doing his thing. But it feels like if there was a time to catch the Dodgers, if there was a time to beat the Dodgers, it would be now. I just don't think that what the New York Yankees have can do it. I like Toronto. I don't know if Toronto can do it. I like what Milwaukee's done. I don't know if Milwaukee can do it. It still feels like, again, I'm the type to be the man. You got to beat the man. And it feels like there's just no chance of beating the Dodgers, because if the Dodgers are a healthy team, no other team out there is going to be able to keep up with them. But they give you hope. They lost 8-3 yesterday to Colorado, and I get it. Baseball's a weird game. You're going to lose some random games every now and then. Maybe that's what it's going to be. We're going to check the standings real quick. I'm sure the Dodgers are still atop of their division, one game ahead of the San Diego Padres, who are absolutely hot right now. 72-55 is the Dodgers record. 71-56 is the Padres record. The Padres winning 6 out of their last 4. The Dodgers losing 4 out of their last 6. So there's a chance. There's a small chance that something can happen. Something could bounce the way of the Padres and they can win that division. And it's like, it's not the stereotypical Cinderella story when it comes to sports, right? Like the Padres are spending a ton of money, an absolute ton of money. If I'm not mistaken, they have a top 5 payroll. We're going to look up what the highest payrolls are in MLB for the 2025 season. I guess they don't. They're close, though. They are close. The Mets, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Cubs, and the Padres are the top 7. The Texas Rangers at 8, the Red Sox at 9, and Atlanta at 10. Those are your top 10. Top 10. Salary teams here. I would have thought, I see Seattle and Houston at 11 and 12. I would have thought they'd have been higher on this list. I'm surprised to see Chicago there. I'm surprised to see Texas there. Like all the stuff that I was watching and paying attention to, made it seem as though the Boston Red Sox really weren't spending money this year. They have the 9th highest payroll in baseball. So you figure they ought to have something. There ought to be something there. The Padres are spending. It's not. I thought it was going to be like a huge gap. It doesn't seem like a huge gap, but it kind of is. My dude B Strilla tuning in saying good morning, Tip. Good morning to you, B. Hope that you are having yourself a great day. We are talking baseball right now. The Yankees leapfrogging the Boston Red Sox to be second in the AL East, now 4 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays. They're reeling me back in. They're making it seem as if, Tip, be excited for us. I don't want to be. I'm trying to convince myself that there's a way that the Dodgers are going to wind up losing in the playoffs or losing in the World Series. Hell, they've got a 1-game lead over the San Diego Padres. And I'm saying that the Padres, if they were somehow, some way able to beat the Dodgers and win the division, it's not so much of a Cinderella story. Because we're looking at the Padres spending $215 million in payroll. And comparing that to the $341 million that the Dodgers are paying in total payroll. I had it clicked wrong, so I'm going to go over it one more time. These are our top 10. Our top 10. Bistro saying the Tigers are back on track. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Looking at the standings real quick before I get to the payrolls again. The Detroit Tigers, 76-53. They have won 8 out of their last 10 games, just like my New York Yankees have. The second best record in Major League Baseball, following the Milwaukee Brewers, who were red hot, won themselves 14 straight games. But Detroit getting back on track, that's going to be a scary team. They've got pitching. Pitching wins championships. Tommy saying, good morning, Tip. Good morning to you, Tommy. My New York Yankees just jumped over your Boston Red Sox to be the second place team in the AL East. Our dude, the Crooked Commish, saying, Money Mike, good morning. What's good? What's good, Crooked Commish? I was on the Crooked Commish show yesterday, the Fantasy Football Hour, talking all kinds of fantasy football stuff. It was a fun time. Y'all got to go check that out. Make sure you're subscribed to the Chicago Clubhouse Network on YouTube. Trying to get to, I forget the number. What was it? A little over 1,000, right? Like something like that. You just need 70 more subscribers. Let's go on out there and subscribe. Chicago Clubhouse Network. Support the people that support us, along with our dude B Strilla. I was on with him yesterday with the Unprofessional Sports Show, and that show got off the rails quick. One of the quickest ways that show got off the rails. 1,400 subscribers is what they're going for. That's awesome, man. Hopefully we can get you a few more on there. The Chicago Clubhouse Network. Talking fantasy football. It was a fun time yesterday. The LA Dodgers, the highest payroll in all of baseball. The New York Mets, the second highest payroll. Then come the Yankees, the Phillies, the Blue Jays, the Astros, the Rangers, the Padres, the Braves, and the Cubs. Boston is the number 12th highest payroll team here. Detroit is the 16th highest payroll in all of baseball. All of it looking de minimis. Like the Yankees paying $298 million looks small compared to the LA Dodgers' $341 million payroll. And I was trying to say, like, it's not a Cinderella story, but I didn't realize that the difference. Like, I know the Padres were paying a ton of money to guys. I didn't realize that the difference was $130 million between them and the Padres, or them and the Dodgers. $130 million. is a higher payroll than that of the Kansas City Chiefs, the St. Louis Cardinals, or the Kansas City Royals, rather, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Minnesota Twins, the Colorado Rockies, the Cincinnati Reds, the Milwaukee Brewers, who have the best record in baseball, the Washington Nationals, the Cleveland Guardians, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Oakland Athletics, the Chicago White Sox, and the Miami Marlins, who have the lowest payroll in all of minor league baseball at $66 million. The difference between the Dodgers payroll at number 1 and the Padres payroll at number 8 is that of 12 teams' entire payroll in Major League Baseball. That is wild. I'm a Yankees fan. I remember what it was like in those early 2000s when the Yankees were out there just spending money left and right? Like they had this huge payroll, and everyone's like, how are we going to compete with the Yankees? I feel now. I understand. I am with the other fan bases. What the Dodgers are doing isn't fair. They're spending $40 million more annually than the New York Yankees are. The same thing with the Mets. Augustine's saying we should examine how these teams are having these payrolls. Well, a lot of that comes down to stuff that people don't necessarily care about, which is the TV deals, right? The LA Dodgers, the Chicago Cubs, the Red Sox, the Yankees, maybe even the Mets, Philadelphia, they are in these huge markets, right? Their TV deal doesn't necessarily have to be with like Bally Sports or Fox Sports Southwest, right? Like they have their own TV deal. It's bankruptcy proof. But we saw Bally Sports and we saw Fox Sports Southwest and all that go bankrupt. The Dodgers TV deal is a multi-billion-dollar a year deal. And they've got, great backing with it, right? Like the Dodgers ownership, not afraid to spend money. And that's why, so like whenever you get all those TV deals and you have those huge contracts, like you look at it, they don't necessarily need fans in the stadium. That doesn't matter to them. It's all about the TV deal, the marketing, all the stuff like that the LA Dodgers have. Winning those championships helps you market a lot more, so you're able to do a lot of these things. Therefore, the payroll increases, right? That's what happened with the Yankees. That's why the Yankees were the most valuable team, or still, I believe, the most valuable team in Major League Baseball, is because of all the winning they did way back, right? But to go along with that TV deal, to go along with all the other rights and recognition that the New York Yankees have, that's what allowed them to have these huge TV deals that they're able to do. Plus, it's smart with payroll. Think about this. The Dodgers still have that much higher of a payroll, and all they're doing is paying Ohtani like out of the $70 million annually he's supposed to get. They're only paying him like $10 million this year. If I'm not mistaken, it's like $10 million a year for the first 10 years, and then $60 million a year for the 10 years after that, right? Augustine saying, I imagine TV deals from across the world are important. How much is Japan paying? I don't know how much Japan is paying, but I do know having a guy like Shohei Ohtani on your team, if you're the LA Dodgers, gets you a ton of people tuned in, right? And that would be the thing, like with the internet, subscribers, subscriptions, things like that. If you're the LA Dodgers, you blocked, which they did, a deal that would have had a lot more parity, right? Like that's why whenever you sign up for these streaming services, if it's like MLB.TV or whatever, if you sign up for that, they ask you what your favorite team is. You're going to put the Dodgers if you're in Japan, right? Because you love Shohei Ohtani. That all gets broken down. This many people subscribe because of the Dodgers. These many people subscribe because of the Yankees. They are going to get more of the cut as opposed to having an equal revenue share, which is something that does happen with like Fox Sports Southwest and all that stuff. It's really complicated the way that they do that. The Dodgers TV deal through Spectrum gives them 334 million a year. Exactly. So think about that. 334 million a year. That's 7 million less than what your actual payroll is right now. You can make up that 7 million anywhere if you're the LA Dodgers. Compare that to the Miami Marlins. I'm looking up what their TV deal is, as I just got a brand new one. Doesn't have the numbers here, so it must not be that great. They are now on the FanDuel network. I forgot that Bally's turned into FanDuel. The Miami Marlins are getting around $20 million annually. Around $20 million annually. So you look at that. That is $314 million less in TV revenue annually than what the LA Dodgers are getting, right? So it's hard for the Miami Marlins. It's hard for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's see how much the Pittsburgh Pirates TV deal is making. Oh, the Pirates actually making $50 million a year. Look at that. That's a lot more than I thought they were going to be making. But that's still almost $300 million less in revenue that they're able to make, right? And it's wild whenever you think about it that way. And the players' union in baseball is so much stronger than that of the players' union in the NFL, right? Like in baseball, they're able to kind of get the way that they want to get. That's why there's no salary cap. Because there's so much more money in baseball. You have so much more when it comes to the TV product. Oh, the NFL has 17 games. We have 162. You have during the dog days of summer, some sort of programming that you're able to sell as a premium programming package to all of these TV deals out there, right? I know the Dodgers have the highest TV deal. Let's see what the Yankees is. The Yankees' most recent evaluation is at $7.9 billion. That's not what I need. It's the other way around. There are not TV channels that own sports franchises. There are sports franchises that own TV channels, right? So like the New York Yankees own the Yes Network. So it like that's the other way. So whenever the team owns the network, similar to that of like what's going on with some of the other stuff, they're able to maximize, right? Like we're the New York Yankees. On the Yes Network, we can give you 162 Yankees games to go along with all of the old Yankees games, to go along with all of the Yankees talk and history and stuff like that you've got on it. So if you watch the Yes Network, they've got like Michael Kay, like his radio show and stuff like that on there, right? So they're able to generate revenue off of owning the TV channel. I don't know, and I'd have to do research on that to see if there are TV channels that own the sports franchise, but I don't think there is. Like it would be the other way around. Well, Nesson owns the Red Sox. Nesson doesn't own the Red Sox, right? Like that's a different thing. Nesson is a part of Fenway Sports Group that owns the Red Sox. So not only do they own the Red Sox, but they also own the network. Kind of what we're talking about with the Yankees right now. So Fenway Sports Group is the ownership. They just happen to own a part of the TV deal, right? So you're kind of able to double dip with that. Which is like, it's a really smart deal, which is why you would never see the teams like the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Yankees, the Dodgers, those legacy type teams, the Phillies. You would never see them sign a deal that winds up taking money out of their pocket to help out the other teams, right? Which would be what the whole like Bally and Fox Sports Southwest and like all that stuff, FanDuel Sports Network, all that. That's what that does, is it creates a revenue share with them. It's harder for FanDuel to stay afloat because they don't have teams like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers on their games all the time, right? They've got the Rangers, which is fine. They've got the Astros, which is fine. They've got the Marlins, which is fine. But they don't have those huge legacy teams, right? And you kind of need those to survive. That's why we've seen Fox Sports and Bally's and all the other things in recent time go bankrupt and sell off these regional sports networks, because they don't have that type of power. Augustine saying the Major League Baseball should have a salary cap and have rules like financial fair play model from England. Major League Baseball, I don't think will ever have a salary cap, just because it would be so hard. Like they have a CBA that's going to be coming up in the next couple of years. I want to say it's like next year. Now that I'm thinking about it, Jesus, it might be next year that their CBA is coming up. And if they negotiate a salary floor, like teams need to pay this minimum, then maybe we'll see them create a salary cap. I just don't see the players negotiating to put a cap on their earnings, not in Major League Baseball, right? Like we're talking about the one league that doesn't have a salary cap. And you can go with like the European model and stuff like that all you want. That's not how business is ran in the United States. So there's two completely different countries, two completely different worlds as far as like athletics and things like that go, right? I just don't feel like it would be something that winds up being negotiated. Like the owners want so much more things and the players want other things, that salary cap isn't going to be a place where they draw a stalemate or they decide that that's something that they want to do. And then whenever you look at kind of like what we were talking about earlier, right? You have teams like the Tampa Bay Rays, who have the 26th highest payroll, who are a contending team year after year. You have the Milwaukee Brewers right now, the 23rd highest payroll in baseball, who has the best record in baseball. Cincinnati's down there, and they've got a shot at making the playoffs. Cleveland's in there, and they have a shot at making the playoffs, right? And then you've got teams like Texas, who's like not even leading their division. Let's go back to the standings here. Let's see where the Texas Rangers are. The Texas Rangers, who have a high payroll, who are third in their division, who, if the wild card were to start today, would be they'd be the third team out. Augustine saying, yes, it's next year in December. Yeah, that's wild. Like I know there was that little bit of a holdout, that strike that they had in the 2020 season with COVID and like all the negotiating and stuff like that the teams tried doing. There we go. So it's weird. I guess they only had a 5-year CBA, which is kind of odd. That's really, really strange. I would look to see this next CBA would be, if you don't know what I'm talking about, collective bargaining agreement. The next collective bargaining agreement between the players and the owners and stuff like that would probably be a decade long. And it's more than likely going to favor like ownership and stuff like that, because this is where they start talking about like expansion fees. There's been talk about like relocation and stuff like that of Major League Baseball wanting to expand 2 more teams. That way they get 32, right? And they change some of the divisions around, where I believe it would be like the Mets would join the AL East or something of that nature. Like there's a lot of these talks that are going out there. completely getting rid of the model of American League and National League and just setting up conferences. Augustine saying a team in El Paso, as much as I would love that, I don't think that would happen. I think they've got Nashville. I know they definitely have Vegas on their mind. Everyone thinks it's going to be the Athletics are going to go to Vegas. They still have yet to agree to a lot of stuff here. So the Athletics are homeless for the time being. But they spent so much money in Sacramento that they might just wind up staying in Sacramento, which would be crazy if they wind up doing that. Let's go with the hypothetical that Vegas gets a team. Like Vegas gets the Athletics. Then you have the ability of expanding again to like Portland, to Nashville, like we said before. Augustine laughing at Nashville, but it's been the talks that people are talking about. Also expanding back out to Montreal, right? Like there's been these talks. I agree, Augustine. El Paso should be considered. I 100% agree with that. I've long said with the El Paso Juarez Metroplex area where you've got millions of people living, you can't count Juarez for like TV deals and stuff like that, which is going to be the one thing that really kills professional sports in El Paso, is the fact that there's no real TV market for the city of El Paso. Because, you know, the TV signal stops right at the border. It doesn't go over at all. I always hated that stupid ass rule. Anyway. And like it's the perfect place, right? Like it's between Dallas, it's between Phoenix, it's close to Denver. It's a great geographical location for a professional sports team. I've said that year after year after year. Especially being at just the tip of Texas.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Check out myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout. Save on all your male grooming needs. They have the new Lawnmower 2.0. Sharper blade, smoother glide, more power than what you've already got. It's like if you took Blue Chew and put it into your groomer, and now all of a sudden it's a big, black, beautiful groomer. So glad Tommy's kids aren't in the car right now. It's a BBG. www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout. Save on all your male grooming needs. Augustine saying these Guareños can't watch USA channels. LOL. I've always, I guess it's just because of me being me. I've always kind of, and growing up here, I've always kind of wondered like why Juarez doesn't count for stuff. Like it's a part of this area. These two cities cannot exist without one another. They're a family. As Trump would say about Canada, the invisible boundary line that was created by men shouldn't count unless it has a fence. Not going to go that far with that. We'll continue. We'll continue talking about sports and all the other stuff that we were doing here. Major League Baseball. It's been a fun season. Like it genuinely has. I know I haven't spoken a lot about baseball. I love me some baseball. Tommy's going to say we love baseball much more than we love soccer. I'm looking at the fact that we are now 2 weeks away from the kickoff of the NFL season. The Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles going to show off their championship rings that have wings, just like the maxi pads their fans need. They're rings that have wings. Against the Dallas Cowboys. Augustine saying baseball is boring. Footy is greater than baseball. I've been learning a lot. Like I've done 2 games right now for the El Paso Locomotive as like the audio guy. Augustine saying the Eagles will repeat. That's wild. I've done 2 games as like the audio guy, and I'm really like soccer in person. So much better than soccer on TV. I will say that much. And that's just like the El Paso Locomotive. I can imagine if it was like a really good team, like if I saw Inter Miami or if I saw the LA Galaxy, you know, the really good teams throughout the history of soccer. The Salt Lake United team. I'm trying to think of like other MLS teams that just aren't good because I know if I say that they're great teams, it'll make Augustine mad. But like watching the USL games, those have been a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Augustine saying, if you saw the Premier League in person, maybe one of these days. Maybe one of these days. I still have I'm trying to work it out in the schedule. I've got some clearance through CONCACAF. So maybe we can watch some of those games. I can't wait. Like, I'm still working on getting the stuff for the World Cup, so that's going to be fun as well. It should be a good time. Should be a good time. Like if watching the USL guys, and I'm not taking anything away from the USL guys, but they're not the top of the top. It's like watching minor league baseball, right? Despite the fact that the Oklahoma City team, whenever I was watching them against the Chihuahuas a couple of weeks ago, had a pitcher that was pumping it in 101 miles an hour. Augustine saying CONCACAF is awful. Is there anything that you do like that's in like this part of the hemisphere? Anything? I feel like everything on this side of the globe you hate. It's wild, man. It's genuinely wild. I'm concerned about this. But what I was talking about earlier, the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Dallas Cowboys on the day that they get their rings, they unload the banner and stuff like that. That's always kind of like a petty thing to me, right? Like, I understand why you do it. That's your biggest rival. You throw it in their face. We're better than you. Look at what we did that you couldn't do. I totally get that. But then there comes another level of petty, which is what the Baltimore Ravens are doing, where they are celebrating now 30 years in Baltimore. And the team that they are celebrating those 30 years in Baltimore against are the Cleveland Browns. We mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. If you didn't know, the Cleveland Browns became the Baltimore Ravens. Overnight, just one day, they loaded up a bunch of moving trucks and said, peace out, Cleveland. We'll see you later. In 1995, they did it, just left them, gone. Overnight. Poof. All the history of the Cleveland Browns walks away. They go on, they win 2 championships. Have guys like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Lamar Jackson, like all these Hall of Fame guys. They've been a winning, sustained franchise ever since they left Cleveland. The Browns come back in 1999, and it's been the struggle bus ever since. And the Baltimore Ravens say, hey, Cleveland, just to drive the knife in a little bit further, a little bit deeper, we are going to celebrate 30 years in Baltimore against you. That is such a different level of petty. It's like picking on the kid that you know you shouldn't pick on. Like it's an easy target. But then they're also celebrating the anniversary of one of their Super Bowl teams against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I'm like, okay, whatever. But 30 years, we left you overnight. That's like inviting your ex to your wedding. Like it's such a different level of petty. Tommy Cananza saying that's messed up. It really is. It would be like if the Titans won a Super Bowl and we're like, now we're just gonna throw that over to Houston. Although I think the Houston Texans probably don't have the same like history, right? I get it that they're in the same division, but I don't think there's that same history of hatred there. I was just saying, no. It's not that I hate it. It's just that soccer is way better across the pond, and basketball is really equaling that talent gap that existed. I will say that, yeah. European basketball is getting really, really good. That's why, like, I'd love to see like a real, put that in quotes, a real world championship game between like the best European team. Like, you can come up with a tournament, right? You can get like the best European team, the best Asian team, the best South American team, the best African team, the best Australian team, and like the best team in the United States, like North America, all have a tournament to define who the best winner, like the best team is. Not like an Olympic team where you put like the best players of the country together. It's got to be that team, all around team. I think that would be fun. A Club World Cup, I guess something similar to that. Like that would be fun to see. But only of champions, right? Like Inter Miami shouldn't have been in the Club World Cup, because they weren't like a champion of MLS. I just want champions, baby. Augustine goes on to say, and there are many things that are good from things in Europe that could benefit sports here, but people have too much ego. It's not that people have too much ego. It's that there's too much capitalism, right? And again, we talk about relegation. I know that's what you're kind of talking about is relegation. You would need a stronger minor league system that would become independent of the major league system, kind of like what they had back in like the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? Augustine saying, you mean the Champions League? Is the Champions League like, I don't know. I'd have to check out the Champions League. Do they have one for basketball? I know that's like a soccer thing. Wasn't that just like based off of levels or something? I don't know. I got to learn more about soccer. I'm trying. You see my mind expanding right now. Also, like I feel like my brain starts going smooth whenever I'm watching soccer. Start drooling out of the side of my mouth. All because of soccer. Augustine saying, yes, they have one for soccer and basketball. Nice. Okay, cool. Bring it over to the United States. Get that ass taken. Get that ass took. I had to think of who the NBA champion was this year. The Oklahoma City Thunder. I would take the Oklahoma City Thunder against any team from Europe this season. Let's see. The Golden State Warriors. Could you imagine? The Golden State Warriors when they had KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson was still healthy, going up against like a European team. That would have been really fun. I know like rules and like the court dimensions are different, right? So like I wonder how, I guess if you would go with like the international style of play, because a lot of the NBA players do that. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. It would be fun. I'd 100% be down with it. Once again, though, the Baltimore Ravens, that level of petty, you gotta love that level of petty. Augustine saying the court is the same. If I'm not mistaken, like the foul line and stuff like that is different. The 3-point line is different. I've seen enough international basketball to know the court ain't the same. Anyway, well, that's a different topic for another time. I'll do some more research on that. Been dealing with a migraine since last night. You kind of saw right there if you were paying attention to the actual screen. What's going on there with that? Gonna have to do some migraine stuff today. That's gonna be fun, as always. Anyway, moving on. 2 weeks away from football. So the Dallas Cowboys are going to be opening up against the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there might be some zero league or some 0 week. I don't think they're calling it that anymore. Yeah, we got some football this week. We got some college football this week. Iowa State and Kansas State over in Dublin. Nothing says Ireland quite like Iowa State and Kansas State. Leading with your best foot forward That's what the NCAA is doing. First game of the season, Iowa State at Kansas State in Dublin, Ireland rather. Then we got Idaho State taking on UNLV. A lot of people excited about UNLV. Fresno State at Kansas. Sam Houston at Western Kentucky. Stanford at Hawaii. Our first 5 games of the 2025 season happen this weekend. I am excited about it. It's going to be a great college football season. It's going to be a great NFL season. Let's check out our UTEP Miners here in El Paso. Our UTEP Miners have played football for over 114 years. They average 3.5 wins a season. Could this be the season that the UTEP Miners make it to a bowl game? Scotty Walden and them boys. Tommy Cananza asking a great question. Why would they be introducing the NCAA to the world with Iowa versus Kansas? I don't know, man. Like, I look at the first week schedule where it's like Texas and Ohio State, Miami, Notre Dame. Like, you have some real matchups that you could have put in Dublin, Ireland. And instead, what we give them is Iowa State and Kansas State. I'm going to look at like last year's standings. And see where Iowa State. Oh, Iowa State was better than I thought. They were 11-3. Kansas State was 9-4 in the Big 12. Look at that. Better than I thought. Maybe you know what, Tommy? Maybe we're judging a little too much. We're being too judgmental. You have an 11-3 team versus a 9-4 team. It could be good. It could be. There's a small possibility. Like, it could be a fun game. I wonder if they have. Yes, there we go. We're going to go with the rankings. Let's see what the offensive rankings of these teams were. We're scrolling down. We are still scrolling down. Iowa State, the 42nd best offense in college football. Let's see where we can find Kansas State at. We are still scrolling down. I must have missed something. There's no way Kansas State was that bad. Let's scroll back up. Let's see if we can find Kansas State. Maybe Kansas State was so bad they didn't get an offensive ranking here. This is riveting. There we go. Oh, it's because they were right under Iowa State. They're number 46. You have the 42nd and 46th best offense facing off against each other in Dublin, Ireland. Checking in on where our UTEP Miners were. Hey, there are 134 teams in college football, in Division I college football. 134. And our UTEP Miners were the 122nd best team when it came to offense, baby. Better than Middle Tennessee State, better than Kennesaw State, better than Houston, better than the Air Force, better than Wyoming, better than Michigan State, better than UCLA, better than Northwestern, better than Purdue, and better than Florida State. The UTEP Miners, the 102nd to 122nd best offensive team in college football, baby. Look at that. Let's see where they were defensively. Going back to Iowa State and Kansas State. Let's see where we can find Iowa State and Kansas State defensively. Maybe we're just going to get ourselves. Wow, Iowa State was 42nd in offense, 41 in defense. Kansas State was 46th in offense, 50th in defense. Look at them. Good job. Scrolling down to find the University of Texas at El Paso. Oh, the University of Texas at El Paso. Number 122 in offense. Guys, the defensive juggernaut of the University of Texas at El Paso. 113th best defensive team in college football. There were 21 teams in college football worse at defense than the University of Texas at El Paso, who gave up on average 32.3 points per game. The pressure's on, baby. The pressure is on. They were better than Wake Forest, Appalachian State, Stanford, Georgia State, Mississippi State, North Texas, Middle Tennessee State, UAB, Texas Tech, Wreckham, Charlotte, Temple, Massachusetts, Oklahoma State, New Mexico State, Southern Mississippi, Utah State, New Mexico, Purdue, Ball State, Tulsa, and Kent State. The University of Texas at El Paso. I tried using Control F on this website and it didn't work. But they are the 113th ranked defensive team. A defensive juggernaut, baby. When the bar's so low, it ain't hard to exceed it. If they're not better than 122nd and 113th in offense and defense, respectively, then something's got to change. They start the season on the road, does the University of Texas at El Paso, against Utah State. They come back for their home opener on September 6th against UT Martin. Then go on the road to the University of Texas, which is going to be a huge loss. Come back home on the 20th of September for Louisiana Monroe. Host Louisiana Tech on the 27th. Host Liberty University on October 8th. On the road for Sam Houston. On the road for Kennesaw State. At home on November 8th. They go a full month without being home. At home against Jacksonville State on November 8th. Travel up to Missouri State on November 15th. Host New Mexico State on November 22nd. And then go on the road to end the season November 29th against Delaware. That vaunted rivalry of UTEP and Delaware. It dates as far back as football can possibly go. In 1869, when Rutgers faced Purdue, or Rutgers faced Princeton, in the very first college football game, that same weekend, the University of Texas at El Paso faced off against Delaware. Most people don't know that, because it didn't happen. Most people don't know that. But that's how far back this rivalry between the University of Texas at El Paso and Delaware goes. I am ramped up for it, baby. I want to see. Maybe we can get a tailgate or something going. Maybe we can get a tailgate or something going for that New Mexico State game. Do a live broadcast, fire and ice. Got to make sure that November 22nd is indeed a Saturday. Because I know Conference USA has some weird days. November 22nd is indeed a Saturday. I'm gonna make sure we get a tailgate out there. We'll do a live fire and ice from the University of Texas at El Paso Sun Bowl. It's going to be a great time. Beers on Augustine. He already said he's going to buy everyone a couple of rounds. Good for you, Augustine. You're a great guy. There we go. I'm excited about it. Football season's right around the corner. 2 weeks from today, the NFL kicks off. This weekend, we get 0-week football, extended week 1 football in college football. Starting off, August, I did? Of course you did. You always say that you're going to pay for everybody. That's what makes you such a great guy. That's why everyone loves you, man. You're so philanthropic. Helping out the charity that is Michael Tipton getting drunk. I just want people to go out there. We'll schedule something. We will have ourselves a tailgate. Tommy, I want to see you out there. No excuses. I'm giving you enough time. November 22nd. B. Strilla, fly in from Detroit. Crooked Commish, fly in from Phoenix so that we can support the University of Texas at El Paso as they take on their vaunted rival, New Mexico State University. All right, everyone, I want to thank you so much. Obviously saying tailgate at Buffalo Wild Wings. But then we got to drive and find parking at UTEP, man. If we tailgate at UTEP, it would probably be better. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. Maybe we can get it catered by Buffalo Wild Wings, which would be awesome as well. Are you down with that, Augustine? If we tailgate on the campus of UTEP, but we get it catered by Buffalo Wild Wings, would you be okay with that? I feel like that's a great way for us to do it. Augustine saying parking at UTEP, there's a bunch. No, there's not. It's the premium live event. A premium live event here in El Paso, especially for New Mexico State. 52,000 people selling out the Sun Bowl for the Battle of I-10. UTEP going to be working on their 11-0 this season. An undefeated UTEP. Yes, they upset the University of Texas. Arch Manning, overrated. UTEP gets their 11-win season and gets into the national championship picture for the first time ever. I'm calling it right now. The O in Tipton stands for optimistic. Augustine saying 11-0, you mean 0-11? 0-11? If they go 0-11, maybe we break the chains again. I was talking about that. Part of the reason why the University of Texas at El Paso, my alma mater, that I paid money to, the school that I give an annual donation to the athletics department, that hates me because I simply gave beer to the city of El Paso whenever they won. I might do it again. You start off 0-10. We're breaking the chains again, baby. I'll rehash that thing as many times as it possibly can. That was such a good time. It's wild that it was 7 years ago. Man, I'm old. On that happy note, thank you everyone for tuning into today's show. We will see you tomorrow. It's a TIP VIP Friday. We'll see you all there. Have yourself a great Thursday.